morning, guys. Hope you're well. It's Monday, 29th of November, 2021. Hope you had a great weekend. Right, let's have a quick look at the news before we get stuck into the markets. Quite a news-heavy week, actually. We've got some news a little bit later on from Canada. We've got Governor Macklem speaking. And then about an hour later, we've got Fed Chair Powell speaking. Yeah, quite a mixed bag of news this week, culminating up to or with non-farm payroll on Friday. So always keep an eye on the news that's coming out, especially this high priority news, as this can affect any trades you are in or trades that you have pending. Charts to watch, or I think that you need to watch this week. Euro dollar, but we'll start off with the dollar index. Don't generally trade the dollar index, but we've had this nice impulsive move here, and then on Friday we had this big push up by the buyers. And look at the what's called the real body, that's the colored bit of the candle. Look how small it is. At the end of the day, there was an equilibrium basically between buyers and sellers. I think this is now, or wants to start, a correction. I've been talking about this last week. I've been waiting very, very patiently for it. This to me is an exhaustion candle, and I will be looking for price to push down this week. And it leads come into this trend line or into this zone here around about, if we go for this low here, that was about 94.65. So coming down there. Now, Euro dollar would be my preference to trade if I was going to be selling the US dollar. I'll talk about that in a second, why. But Euro USD, so we'd be looking for longs. Beautiful hammer candle there off this support zone. So I'll be looking for price to push now. You know, correlate it with the dollar index, looking for the correction. We've got an impulse, correction, impulse, looking for another correction now. Correlate that with the dollar index. Now, whether you want to look for, a buy setup on the hourly or whatever you want to do, this could be the first correction. We've got our impulse here, potential correction. We could look for buyers to come in there. Or you may just want to wait until we actually have a break of last week's high and then start to get involved. Maybe on a smaller time frame, you could look for, if I just draw that horizontal in there with the top of last week's price action, you could be looking for that high to break on a smaller time frame and then looking for the retest and then looking to get long. And I would suggest, 1.14 would be a good target, but like I say, correlate it with the dollar index. But certainly I like the idea of longs on this pair. We never are going to know how the correction will take place, whether it will be quite complex or very, very simple. Yeah, longs on Euro USD would be something I'll be looking at. Now, I would not want to go for longs on something like Aussie dollar, Aussie USD, or Kiwi dollar, or selling dollar CAD. Why? Because they are against risk. That's selling with risk currencies. Now, last week we saw the announcement of a new COVID variant called Omicron, and we saw the market turn into a risk-off market. So that means that the risk currencies, which are Aussie dollar, the Kiwi dollar, Canadian dollar, were very, very weak. They were sold off. We saw money flow into the Japanese yen. So if we're going to continue to see weakness in Aussie, weakness in Kiwi, weakness in CAD, then you don't want to be trading the dollar, the US dollar, with those pairs, because you're trading weakness against weakness. So if you want to be trading the dollar, if you decide that you want to do that, then I'd be looking potentially to trade it against euro, maybe against the pound. Forget the Swiss franc as well. Actually, no, the Swiss franc might be okay, but my preference is euro dollar. Okay, this is a beautiful, beautiful candle. So my focus will be on this pair if I'm looking to trade the dollar. We'll see what setup I get. But the main pairs I think would be sensible to watch this week, guys, are Aussie yen, CAD yen, and Kiwi yen, as a continuation of what happened on Friday. Okay, big move, Aussie yen look. Ideally, what I'm looking for is a correction now back towards this trend line and back towards 82. And that's where I want to see sellers come in. Okay, so preferably looking for something like that, pull back, and then start to see sellers come in for another move down. This is on the H4. CAD yen, nice little zone here of support, around about 90. Again, very similar scenario. A little bit of patience and hope that price comes into the right zones and then produces a sell setup for us. Okay, so Aussie yen shorts from looking from 82, around about that zone. CAD yen shorts from about 90, looking around there. And Kiwi yen. Kiwi yen, well, we've got this little bit of resistance here, which is a 50% retracement of the move from here to here. We do also have some resistance here as well, which is a little bit higher up. So there's a couple of options for Kiwi yen for me. 78.15 and up here around about 78.60. But you know, you can see again, big move down. Is that money flowing to Japanese yen going to continue? And money flow out of the risk assets, is that going to continue? But a nice break of the trend line for Kiwi yen. I mean, we were looking for this to bounce, but it didn't produce a setup. We're actually looking for basically to bounce here and then push up into towards this zone here, but didn't happen. So yeah, you can have a little look, maybe set an alert for 78.15, this little zone here. You might see this form resistance again. So those are definitely charts to watch. They're the main charts to watch for me. Euro USD kind of secondary to those. There's one more which isn't so important, but I'm going to point it out anyway, and that is pound CAD, which appears to be bouncing in between this weekly or monthly range. I've had a morning star pattern here. I'm looking for this resistance here to break and a retest on a smaller time frame, then looking to push up towards 1.76. This is obviously a weekly time frame. This could take, you know, this will be going into 2022 next year probably, but if it's a trade that you don't mind holding, then that's something that you can look out for as well. So that's it from me, guys. Let's see what the market brings to us, and I will catch you later. Bye.